What's going on, everybody? Cigar Show Tim here with another edition of Tobacco Talk, where I review a cigar and then I give you my thoughts on it in four key areas: flavor, draw, construction, and burn. Everything you want to know about that cigar, but it's from my palate's perspective, and then I rate it as to whether I think it's noteworthy or not. So the cigar for this review comes from Luciano Cigars. It was released and debuted at the TPE Tradeshow earlier this year in 2023, and I have had it on my schedule of cigars to review and just have not done it yet. We're getting ready to close out this year, so I figured I got to jump on it and get that review taken care of. So for this edition of Tobacco Talk, I will be reviewing the Luciano Cigars Foreign Affair. You can see it right there. It's got the nice primary band. You can see that there's a little bit of darker oil spots looking on the wrapper leaf, as you can see right there. Just a few little areas where you can see some darkness. Got a nice little velvety feel to it, and it's got a little bit of an oil sheen. So, well, we'll get into the blend. We'll get into all that information. But if we're going to do that, there's only one thing left to do. Let's light it up. All right, I went with my usual straight cut, as you can see right there. On the cold draw, I'm picking up notes of honey graham cracker, a little bit of like a baking allspice kind of note in there, and a hint of some like sweet creaminess. So let's toast her up. All right, upon initial light up, I'm picking up flavor notes of a light toasted breadiness. There's some cedarwood that's in there. There's a little bit of creaminess and a little bit of that sort of baking spices in there as well. So I'm going to jump into the first third. When I come back, I'll let you know what the blend on the cigar is, what the flavor profile is like, strength, all those other things. So let's dig into the first third. All right, let me show you the burn here at the end of the first third. You can see there, got a little bit of a wave to it, not perfectly straight. It was burning straight until literally about 20 seconds ago. And then it just got that little bitty dip right there. But overall, not too crazy. Let's hope it corrects itself. Okay, let's talk about the blend on this cigar and a little bit of information about it. I am taking this information, just so everybody knows, from the Half Wheel article that was written. And the blend on this and information. So this was a creation between Mike Danulis, or Mike the Greek as he goes by. Mike the Greek, who's a regional sales manager for Luciano Cigars, and Frank Cosio, who at the time of this article at least was or is the co-owner of Astorian Cigar Company in West Palm Beach, Florida. And the blend took about a year to get together, to have it, marry and just really come out the way that they were looking for, because it is a very, very full and robust blend for what I'm smoking is a Corona, which is a 5 5/8 by 42. So let's go through this blend. There are multiple different vitolas in it, though. So the blend features an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, dual binders from Nicaragua and Ecuador, and fillers from Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and the Dominican Republic. So the four different sizes that the cigar is offered in is what I have right here. Like I just mentioned, the 5 5/8 by 42. It's a Corona, which MSRP is for $9.50. There is a Rothschild 4.5 by 48, which MSRP is for $10.35. There is a Toro Extra, which is a 6.5 by 52, which is a vitola that Luciano specifically uses in the majority of the blends that he carries. And that one goes for $11.80 MSRP. And then finally, there's a Bellicoso that is a 6 by 54 that runs MSRP for $12.50. So let's talk about some flavor notes in this cigar in the first third. There's some real unique flavor combinations in there. What I'm picking up mostly is there's a light cedarwood in there. There's a hint, small hint of some white pepper, mostly in the back of the throat. Nothing pungent whatsoever. But there's this really unique sort of floral note that's in there. And I don't usually pick up floral notes in cigars, but for this one, for the Foreign Affair in the first third, it is very noticeable. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, especially with that white pepper and that light cedar wood. There's a little bit of a natural sweetness that's in there as well. I can't associate it with any kind of flavor specifically. It's just a nice sweet, like sweet tobacco note, I guess would be the easiest way to describe it. Now you know the blend. Now you know the four different vitolas that is offered in. The draw on this is a little bit snug in the first third, so I'm hoping it opens up. It is a small ring gauge of 42, so to get everything blended with all those different tobaccos in there and have it have a good draw can be a little bit tricky. So let's see if it opens up a little bit here going into the second third. Strength on this, I would say, is sitting at a mild plus, medium minus right there in that range. Nothing strong yet whatsoever. Very pleasant, very enjoyable. Smoke output is a little bit light right now, so let's see if that continues to develop as well. I'm going to jump into the second third. When I come back, I'll let you know of the changes of anything going on with the cigar and any more information that I think you might need to know. All right, let me show you the burn here at the end of the second third. You can see here the burn has mostly corrected itself. There's just a hint of a wave to it. Overall, it is doing very well. The ash stacks up very, very nicely and holds on quite well. Okay, flavor notes in the second third continued to develop and got into a really, really good place for my palate, at least. So there's this nice, like, toasted, nutty almond. We'll call it marzipan because it's sort of what toasted almonds are, marzipan, when you look at spices. There's a nice marzipan note that's in there. There's a cedar. Every once in a while, I get a little hint of like a charred wood, like a charred cedar in there, but for the most part, it stays just a nice consistent cedar. There's a really nice creaminess that's in there, and it's more of like a sweet cream. So that sweet note that was sweet tobacco in the first third, it's more of like a sweet creamy note now. And then that white pepper that was at the back of the throat at the end of the first third is more across the palate now. You get a little bit more of it when you retrohale, but it is not any kind of black pepper spice, nothing like that at all. And then that floral note is absolutely still there. So you've got the marzipan, you've got the pepper, you've got that sort of sweet cream note, you've got that light cedar. All those different flavor notes are combining and blending together in this second third. So when you look at the story behind the cigar, and I love when cigars have stories, whether it's the way they came together or the intention behind them, this one has the latter. The intention behind Foreign Affair from Mike the Greek was ideally to have a cigar that represents what the cigar community and industry is about, and that is all nationalities all over the world can come together with a cigar and be on the same playing field and have one thing in common, that is the love of cigars. And so that's what Foreign Affairs name really comes from, is Mike the Greek and the owner of the Cigar Lounge really wanted to just convey and put together a cigar that represents the global cigar industry and how it is a foreign affair, all the foreign different nations coming together and enjoying cigars. So the strength on this, I would say, is sitting at a medium now. It's medium minus into medium. I'm going to call it a good solid medium at this point. The draw has stayed a little bit restrictive. It's got much more smoke output in the second third, so that developed more. I don't like having cigars that don't have a lot of smoke output. This one got to that point where it is very plentiful in the smoke output. Nice, thick, rich, silky feel when it's in your mouth. So very, very nice with that. I'd say it's definitely a full-bodied, full-flavored cigar right now. And again, full body is not strength. Body is the depth or richness of the flavor notes that you're picking up. So I'm going to jump into the final third. When I come back, I'll let you know what changes with the flavor profile, if anything at all. And there was one flavor note that was in there that kind of caught me off guard that I couldn't quite put my finger on about halfway through then it got me all the way to the point that you just saw, is there's almost like a little bit of a popcorn, like a corn grain kind of note in there that goes into like a little bit of a buttered popcorn. It's very, quick, very faint, but I did pick it up and it was really interesting with the balance of the floral and that popcorn, buttered popcorn, and all the other flavor notes I already gave you. So I'm going to jump into the final third. When I come back, I'll let you know of any changes to the flavor profile, the strength, all of that. And of course, I will let you know whether I think this cigar is noteworthy or not. All right, let's wrap up this review. Here is the cigar at the end of the final third. Mostly straight, just that little bitty bump right there. Otherwise, doing very well as the cigar wraps up. Okay, flavor notes in the final third. That toasted almond marzipan note absolutely came back. That is the most prominent flavor note that I'm getting here in the final third. The white pepper has taken a step back from where it was in the last third, right there in the second, third segment. And it's taken a step back and it's fallen back more towards being on the back of my palate, not so much the back of my throat, not really covering my palate anymore. And you don't pick up a whole lot of it at all on the retrohale. It's mostly just across the palate when you blow out the smoke. So you've got the marzipan, you've got this pepper note. You've also got a little bit of that light cedar is still there. But the most prominent note is that marzipan toasted almond nuttiness, which is very good, followed up by some creaminess. Very, very good in this final third. I'm glad that the pepper took a little bit of a back seat so that the marzipan could really come forward and shine, and that cedar note could come through as well. That sort of sweet tobacco note isn't really there anymore, but that finish with the creaminess is just really, really enjoyable for my palate. If you've had this cigar, I'm really curious about your thoughts on the Foreign Affair from Luciano Cigars. For me, do I think it's nubworthy? I do. I think this is a very, very nubworthy cigar. With the transitions that it went through, the draw on this got a little bit looser in the final third, and then right there at the end got a little bit tighter. But overall, it did open up quite a bit in the final third, which is really nice. The strength on this, I would say, ends at a medium, medium plus. Not a full strength cigar whatsoever, but very, very enjoyable. Smoke output was extremely plentiful in the final third as well as it did open up more, so I was really happy that that took place. So if you've had this cigar, the Foreign Affair by Luciano Cigars, I'd love for you to put some comments down below. What was your take on it? Did you get the same flavor notes that I did? Was yours different? What kind of notes did you get? And actually, as the long finish is coming through right now, I'm getting just a hint of that floral note that was there at the beginning coming back again. Really, really nice. But if you've had it before, put some comments down below. I'd love to get your take on it, or maybe you're enjoying the cigar while I'm doing the review. Let me know if you're getting something similar, something different. If you're having one of the other three Vitolas that are out there in this, let me know that as well. I'm curious your take on it. I've had this one, and then I've also had the Super Toro that they have as well, and that one is very, very good also. So that's it. Let me know what you think of this cigar if you've had it. That's going to do it for this edition of Tobacco Talk. Enjoy your cigar journey, everybody. I'm Cigar Show Tim. As always, I'll see you.